Today we're going to be taking a look inside Soapbox, which is a product of HitSend Inc., working out of the Ryerson Digital Media Zone. And before we get too much further, I do want to thank and bring attention to Asterisk Media, which is filming everything you're seeing right now. They happen to work out of Project RHINO, which is the space we're in, and Steamwhistle. Today we have Brennan. He's from HitSend, representing Soapbox, and we're going to learn a bit more about everything they do.
I was born and raised in Cobourg, Ontario, which is a small town about an hour and a half east of here. And
Big Apple.
yeah, it's pretty close to the Big Apple, yeah. So it's in kind of Apple County, I guess, is what they call it. So you can eat apples if you want to. And not much to do there. So I found out about this little thing at the time called the internet, and started making some websites just on the side as I was growing up, and got into kind of the web development freelance world in my little small town, and decided not to go to school for computer science, even though it was kind of what really interested me. I was debating whether or not I should go to school at all, and my dad said, just do it and get out of the town and get away from your mom. I love my mom. It's just, I don't know if I could have lived with my parents more. And ended up going to Ryerson University for business, figuring that if I really like this technology stuff, then I'll keep learning it. Seeing as I don't really like accounting, I should probably learn how to do that in school.
So I'm guessing you went to Ryerson.
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
And what did you study?
Business.
Okay. That's a non-technical thing.
That's a non-technical thing, yeah. Actually, haven't finished it, the degree itself yet. Doing my best to kind of chip away at night, which is taking a long time.
All right. So that's how you got to
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
I said you were going to demo Soapbox, which is a product of HitSend Inc., working out of the DMZ.
Yeah.
What is that?
Sure. So I'll give you kind of the background story of how it all happened, and I think that kind of describes what it does best. I was in my second year of school, and I had a couple ideas for how to make the university a better place. And like a naive second year would, it was like little tiny things like, oh, you should do this. Like a good example is if you guys are university students or ever have been, you know how you like learn about your textbook for the class the first week in, and then the professor's always like, you should be on chapter 2 by next week, and you're like, oh, I'm already behind. I didn't even know what the textbook was until this week. So there's like 50 of those things that like as students you stub your toe on every single day, that I was just in my second year kind of frustrated with, and I was chatting with my pals, and I said, you know, they're really easy solutions. Like let's just post the textbook list before classes start. Why is that so hard? And I ended up kind of disbanding with my friends that night. I went home. It was like 1 a.m. I couldn't fall asleep. And I shot an email to the president of Ryerson University. I Googled for a little bit. I was like, President Ryerson. And then this email came up, prez@ryerson.ca, and which isn't his email, but I sent him one anyways to it. And it said, it was really bold and weird. It was, hey, I have some great ideas for the school. I'd love to sit down with you and meet and discuss them and make the place better. And I debated whether or not I should send it. Like, what a weird email at 1 a.m. from this random kid you've never heard of before. And I debated for a little while, and I was like, well, what's the worst that's going to happen? So I hit send on that, which became the name of the company. And to my surprise, he actually got back to me, and he's like, sure, let's have a meeting. And at that moment, I was like, oh, shit. I don't have enough material for a meeting with the president of the school. I don't have it, like my ideas aren't good enough for a meeting with him in his office with 2 other VPs. Like, well, why did he even do this to me? So I debated like canceling on him. But it ended up, I actually went to my friends, and I was like, what were those ideas again? And I started scribbling them down, and I went on Facebook and Twitter, and I was like, hey, like I have this really awesome opportunity to meet with the president of the school. What are your guys' ideas to make this school a better place? And that process sucked. especially in like a short time period, because aggregating things like through humans is tough and tiring. And I ended up running out of time. So I went to the meeting with like a scribbled piece of paper. And I was like, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could get like textbooks before the first week of class? And he was like, yes, you don't get that already? It turns out like the president of the school and like the VPs, they don't enroll for classes every semester, right? So they don't see a lot of the things. I'm serious, like they don't see a lot of the things that we as students see, like the frontline people see. So they were actually really enjoying the meeting and kind of noticing it went well, and knowing a little bit about the president of the school, I was like, and knowing that he's a big ideas guy, I pulled out this kind of Photoshop mock-up I made the night before of this platform that allowed students to submit ideas and bring them to the president's office. And I pulled it out. I came up with it, like the name of it the night before. And I was like, wouldn't it be great if you could give every student at Ryerson University the same opportunity you're giving me right now? The opportunity to take their best ideas and bring them into your office. And you get a filtered, prioritized list of ideas, and the students get a better university. And at that point, he just started the Digital Media Zone. He said, yes, let's do it. And that's kind of how it all started. It started out as Student Voice, and we ended up getting some companies interested in it and changed the name to Soapbox. Whole different story on why that name makes sense, but yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense. I've actually never heard you tell that. I've heard you tell I got on a Soapbox Story back in the Middle Ages.
200 years ago.
Yes, which anybody can go Google and hear that story.
Yep.
See it on YouTube. But you have some big clients right now. So you have this platform that is a gathering place for communities to get ideas or points to the people that can make a difference.
Yeah, so we kind of have like a weird take on like the gathering place model. We're doing our best to not be a gathering place, but to go where the gathering places are. So soapboxes traditionally are, you get up in a public area and you kind of share your ideas. So our platform is very, I guess, modular and extendable, that you can kind of put it on the Facebook page, you can put it on your website, you can integrate it into an intranet, you can put it in like 4 or 5, 6 different places very easily, and all that data is aggregated and seamlessly kind of transition between them. But yeah, it's like an ideation innovation platform for companies, internally and externally, for employees or customers to share their best ideas, and we intelligently kind of find the best ones, just through our algorithms, and intelligently route them to people in the organization that can make change about those ideas.
So who are the first 3, I'll say, customers or users of Soapbox that come to mind?
That come to mind, okay. Not the very
I'm not
first
saying the
thing.
best. I'm not saying, the ones that you're most proud of. I'm saying the ones that come to mind.
Sure.
So there's no preference here.
Sure.
Don't worry. It's going to be on the internet.
I'll say,
no need to worry.
I'll say the ones that I'll demo to you guys today. So one of our first big ones was Chapters Indigo. And they came to us as kind of the book industry going through a lot of change. It still is going through a lot of changes. And they really wanted their customers to be at the heart of that change. So they took Soapbox, white labeled it as Indigo Ideas, and launched it as a platform for their customers to kind of help give them input on where to take the business. Since then, they've kind of grown that community, and they've actually, a couple months ago, expanded it to something that they use internally for their employees. So they actually have 2 soapboxes, one for their customers, one for their employees. An employee one is very, very interesting, but I can't demo that one to you guys today. And then the other one is Ryerson University. So in September, they actually launched university-wide with 28,000 students that go online and actually submit ideas and take them into the president's office, which is really interesting. It's actually really funny, the ideas that come up, mostly like 2-ply toilet paper. And then the other one I'll demo to you today is one we launched last week, which is Justin Trudeau. So Soapbox is a fairly kind of political name, I guess, and has a lot of political background. And we recently just launched Justin Trudeau. It's a place for us as people to go and help him shape his campaign, shape the future of Canada, and hopefully slowly change the world.
I see a few Justin Trudeau fans in the audience. Just take the first and you can get to yours.
Which way?
That way. And again.
So the story that the other story, the soapbox story that I didn't tell you, is wonderfully out in a little video if you guys want to watch it. But you got the hidden secret one. So I'll show you Indigo Ideas. So Indigo, as I said, came to us with the book industry going through a lot of changes, and they also didn't have a huge Facebook presence. So they were at like a third of the likes they had right now. And Heather Reisman actually was coming through the DMZ, and I was in my Star Wars sweater. It's like, Return of the Jedi. And I jumped in front of her, and I was like, let me tell you a story. And she gave me her card and was like, I would love to have this for our customers and for our employees. And that kind of started a really awesome relationship with the company and the brand. And Indigo Ideas is a platform they launched. There's a video, too, that they came out with, which is really cool. But it's on their Facebook page. There's a mobile app as well, and mobile web app, and it's on their website as well. But I'll show you the Facebook app. So it's a place where they've branded it all, but it's all powered by Soapbox and made in Canada. And so you go on here as a user. It looks like Facebook for the most part. We did our best, and go through the feed. So these are all ideas that customers have submitted. So this is just sorted by recency, but you can go and do like top supported. And as customers go in and submit ideas, Indigo will eventually get kind of the best ones routed to specific people in the organization. So this one is like one of my favorites, and they can't actually do it, which sucks. But this lady said, I'd like to see an offer where for every physical book purchased, you can tag on an e-reader version for 99 cents. So it's like the McDonald's supersize your fries. But you get an ebook version. So a lot of people supported that one, and eventually it got a response. This one's reviewed, which means they're not going to do it. But they at least they say why. And then you'll see a whole bunch of other ones. So they have under review. It's launched, a whole bunch of stuff. And you can see comments, you can see shares and stats. But they've launched, in the past year and a half, 56 customer ideas through Indigo Ideas, and that ranges from Wi-Fi in store to bigger blankets. They sell a lot of lifestyle products now, to wish lists online. Something that Amazon does really well is wish lists. And the Indigo customers were actually using the Indigo wishlist feature, but it was like half-baked. They didn't know anyone was really using it because they weren't monitoring that specific stat. And it turns out when they launched Indigo Ideas, their customers were like, we want like 3 pages of wish list items. I guess you couldn't have done that in the past. So they enabled that and made it kind of bigger and better and all that stuff. But you can go on and see all of the ideas that they've launched because of their customers. 56 of them. Some of them are interesting. And then this other one here is the Ryerson University student portal. So as a student, you can go online, check your grades, check all that stuff. I'm sure every school has something like this. But this September, we launched this thing called Soapbox. And there's a tab there in the university, and it launches actually our web application. So this is essentially the virtual way of getting in President Sheldon Levy's office. And it's just a place for students to go, vote on ideas, share ideas, make change in the university. Some of the ideas that are really interesting, actually I bump into Sheldon every once in a while on the street, and he checks Soapbox every Sunday, and he goes, Brennan, guess what they're talking about this week? I don't know, Sheldon, what are they talking about? Stinky washrooms. But some of them are really interesting, and I think the web app does a better job at kind of conveying the process of ideas flow throughout an organization. So for example, this idea, a student said, I wish that Ryerson could have more of an enclosed community instead of being blended into downtown. Which is interesting because Ryerson seems to pride themselves a lot on being a downtown university. And this student didn't necessarily like that idea because they wanted fences or something. But the student body actually downvoted that. So there's like 400 downvotes on it. And because it had a lot of votes from the community, it actually got a response. So this is Julia Hannesberg declining the idea, which means they're not going to do it. So she goes on and says why they're not going to do it, and what's important about being a downtown university and all that stuff. And you get some cool comments. The students saying like, "I'm so glad this was declined," or like, "Mr. and Mrs. People are actually being heard for once." So they now have at Ryerson, which is really interesting. They have a TV show they're coming out with, or something like that, where it's going to be like a talk show, where there's like a student group or student guest panelists that go through like a couple ideas and like make up this cool talk show about it, which is cool. They've done news reports on it, all that stuff. What's really neat about this is all this like traction and votes and stuff is all organic. Like we've done no advertising for it, so we just put it out there for the university, and they've been having a blast. So that's Ryerson's. This is Justin Trudeau. So he's running for leader of the Liberal Party, and we met him a little while ago, and I kind of cornered him and started pitching Soapbox to him. But this is his website. It's actually a WordPress site, and you install our plugin, and you can get like the standard like widgets that embed a couple links and embed a couple like side tabs and all that stuff. But we have a really cool one where you can actually embed our entire application inside of a page. If you guys are developers, that's like a pain in the butt because there's a lot of cross-domain issues with that. Worked our way through it, and so essentially this is like our web application embedded on his site. So this part here is his site. This part here is his site, and this is ours in here. But you can go on and you can see like, I don't know, this idea here. I don't support proportional representation. There's like 137 comments on it. Like people go nuts on this, and this is like a week old. It's pretty crazy. So just ideas for him and for his platform, and his ideas are on there, and you can kind of weigh in and say like what you want Canada to be and how you want to change Canada and all that stuff. And so this is his Soapbox. He's actually gone and called it Soapbox, so it's justin.ca/soapbox if you want. And then what we do on the back end is we provide a lot of analytics on the ideas and on the community. So if it's like a Venn diagram, there's ideas and communities, we're kind of right in the middle. So the ideas, what are the important ideas? What are the trending ideas? What are the best ideas? And then who's supporting them and where? So for politicians, it's really interesting because they can see, on this particular idea, Toronto has a lot of support, but Edmonton doesn't support it. It opposes it. And you can see that in a really cool infograph type heat map layer that they get emailed in PDF form and all that stuff. And then we do a lot of analytics on the community. So, who are your thought leaders? Where are they coming from? Who are they influencing? Who's the most influential person? All that jazz. And that's kind of more or less what we do. We do a lot of internal like employee solutions. So sourcing ideas from your frontline employees, like bank tellers, like people in the shipping yards. I can't show you that stuff, but that's actually where the really interesting ideas come from, where you save like thousands, if not millions of dollars, which is really cool.
Cool. So have you guys taken any funding at all, or how have you been able to do this?
Yeah, we're bootstrapped up until this point. It's just us. We're I think like 7 guys at the last count, which was today. But it's me like trying to be cool, I guess, at the last count. We're 7 people, we're just bootstrapped based on sales. We have a whole bunch of other clients that kind of pay us monthly. We've gone through like the investor dance a couple times. We're kind of gearing up for another one soon. But usually at the end of it, we kind of get frustrated that we're not like actually focusing on selling and focusing on the business. We're kind of like talking about the business. That ends up like somehow making us frustrated enough to go out and make a bunch of sales and then last for the rest of the year. So we're totally bootstrapped. We have a really great founding team that enables us to kind of make changes at a really awesome pace. And we're just hustling.
All right. Well, Brennan, thank you very much for showing us this. And if anyone has any questions, you can ask Brennan after. But big round of applause.